everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Tina Zaccardi Bakes. I am Tina Zaccardi, winner of season 4 of the Great American Baking Show. And I want to say hello to everyone who's watching me on MARKET.live. And I want to say hello to everyone who's jumping on my Instagram live. If you guys want to send me questions, and I absolutely love questions or comments, for MARKET.live, just type it in there and we'll have somebody feed them to me. For Instagram, just put them in the comments and I'll be able to answer them for you. I'm trying to check in to see who's, oh, we got quite a few people. Hey, how is everybody doing today? So it's going to be like a tennis match. I'm going to be going this way and this way. So we're going to make this work. So today we are making Irish soda bread. And you may be saying, Tina Zaccardi, what is this nice Italian girl doing making Irish soda bread? Well, Irish soda bread is really delicious. That's why we are making it today. And later on down the road, I'm going to give you some hints and tips to kind of make this with a little bit of an Italian flair. And I like to call it my Italian-ish soda bread, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later. So we're going to make some Irish soda bread today. And it's really not that difficult. It's stuff you probably have in your house. Except maybe the buttermilk. I know that there are some tips and tricks to make buttermilk yourself. You know, a cup of milk with like a tablespoon of cider vinegar or white vinegar. It is kind of an okay substitute, but I just find out that the end product never really tastes the same as when you use real buttermilk. And if you're hesitant to buy like a whole quart, I have a couple of recipes out there on my website that use buttermilk. So you'll be able to snacking cake, my chocolate hazelnut zucchini snacking cake, and my zucchini walnut chocolate chip loaf. They all use buttermilk, so you'll be able to get a few recipes that use up the buttermilk. And of course, there's always pancakes because pancakes are always better with buttermilk. So we're going to get started. And if you've been here before, you know I love to weigh everything. I don't like to use the cups. I think it's just a way more accurate way to measure things by weight, not by volume. And the first thing we need is 240 grams of all-purpose flour, which is about 2 cups. So I got my scale on 0, and I'm just going to put it right in there. No cups to dirty. It goes right into the bowl. Makes it super, super simple. There we go. I'm almost at 240. And there we go. Simple enough, right? I'm going to put this aside. To that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Quite a few people are joining. Terrific. So we're going to add...
Liz and Mary both say love Irish soda bread.
Hi, yes, we got a couple of friends on MARKET.live. They just love soda bread. Glad to hear it. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar just to sweeten this up a little bit. There are some recipes that add no sugar. It's just all savory, which is fine. Let's see. Hi, can you share some tips for applying for the Great American Baking Show? So yes, in a sec. So to this, we're also going to add half a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of salt. And this is kind of, this recipe is kind of like your middle school science experiment. You know, the one where you take the baking soda, which is a base, and the vinegar, which is an acid, and you put them together and you create the volcano. Well, this kind of works the same way. That's how we get our leavening. We have our baking soda, which is the base, and we're adding buttermilk, which is very acidic. And when they meet together, they're going to, you know, create carbon dioxide bubbles, and it's going to be a nice leavener and make your soda bread nice and light. So we got people saying, hi, how are you? So Great American Baking Show. The best tip I can give you is practice, 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 and be yourself, because there's nobody else like you. So be yourself. That's the best tip I can give you. I did it 3 times before I got picked. So just keep at it too. So I've whisked all that together because we want all our leavening ingredients to be evenly dispersed throughout the flour. You don't want to take a bite and get a taste of baking soda in like one bite of your bread. So we want that all mixed up. We're going to put our scale off to the side because I think we're kind of done with that now. And then we're going to take some cold butter, and I've cubed it already, and unsalted. We're going to throw that in there, and we're just going to toss it around. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing you do with scones or biscuits. We are going to work the butter into the flour. And you want it to be cold, just like scones or biscuits. And we're going to do this until it looks like kind of coarse cornmeal. You don't want to see any real big pieces of butter in there. We're just going to work this in. And there's like a lot of, not controversy, but people put different things into their soda bread. Some people like caraway seeds. Some people like raisins. I like the little currants. I think they're just perfect for this. They're not too big like raisins. They're nice and small. You get that nice pop of sweetness when you put them in. So I really love, love, love currants. All right, so I think we did a good job. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's kind of like a coarse cornmeal type looking mixture. We've got our butter all incorporated into the flour. There we go. I'm just going to take a quick rinse here. Oh, come on. And I'm going to rinse those hands off. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to add our liquid ingredients, which is buttermilk and an egg yolk. And we're going to add 3/4 of a cup. There we go. Or 180 of buttermilk. And we're going to do 1 egg yolk. So I know everybody's like, oh, I'm going to be left with that pesky egg white. So you know what? Throw it in your omelet tomorrow morning with 1 whole egg plus the egg white. And we're just going to crack it open, and we're going to do the toss back and forth method. Sometimes I use my hands. And then we're just going to put the egg yolk right into the buttermilk. So far, so easy,
Nancy
right?
says this is such a fun recipe. Love it.
We've got Nancy on MARKET.live. She said it's such a fun recipe. It really is, and it's easy, and it's like except for the buttermilk, I think it's things that you always have to use in your kitchen. Okay, so I'm whisking this up together, as everybody can see. And I'm going to add the currants in right now because you don't want to over mix this. And once you put the liquid in, you want to just mix until the flour is just incorporated and you don't see any more flour. And then if you were to put the currants in after that, you're going to start to over mix it. So I'm going to put the currants in right now, and we're going to do a 1/2 cup. If you want to add less, you can. It's going to, just kind of do it by eye. There we go. It's not rocket science when you're adding stuff like this, mix-ins. The rest of the stuff is kind of sciencey though. All right, so we've got this all mixed up. There we go. We've got our currants in there. Okay, everybody got a good look. Hey everyone. Oh, we got lots more people joining. Terrific. All right.
Susie says she is definitely an eye tester when she's baking.
We've got Suki from MARKET.live commenting. Okay, we're going to make a kind of a well or a hole in the for this whole thing right into the middle, and I'm going to use a spatula to make sure I get every little bit out of the cup. All right. I'm going to take a larger spatula, and what I'm going to do is I always find people start mixing like this on top, and what happens is you get a lot of flour left on the bottom that's not incorporated. So what I like to do is I like to take my spatula and kind of go underneath and kind of fold the flour onto the wet ingredients and scrape the bottom as you do that. And you won't get that flour all stuck at the bottom, and then you have to work really hard to get it mixed in, and then you start to over mix. So this is just kind of my little trick to do that. Just kind of, I'm just scraping and lifting and folding over. And every once in a while, clean off that spatula because you got a lot of sticky stuff on there that will also help the flour incorporate. Again, scrape up from the bottom and just kind of fold it over. And we're going to keep doing this, and very gently. until we really don't see any more flour. And then we have kind of like a big sticky mass of dough. And this is very similar, almost exactly the way you'll make scones, but most American scones will have a lot more butter than this. And this makes, it's a pretty dense bread, but it's just so delicious. I know the temptation is to cut it right when it comes out of the oven, when it's hot. Let it cool off a little bit. And then you just slather it with some butter, some salted butter. And I like to toast it the next day and put more butter on. So I think we're pretty much there. We've got our mixture ready to go. And just make sure everything is scraped off the side. And you've got a pretty homogeneous ball there of dough. And there's really and just give the surface, you know, my counter surface, a little sprinkling of flour. And I'm going to just put that aside, toss this out onto it. Okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle just a little on top. And we are going to start to bring it together. And we're going to just knead it very, very gently and very slightly just to bring it all together. Just a couple of times. And I'm just going to get some flour on my hands. And we're going to shape it into a ball. Everybody can see. And we're going to kind of pat it just a little bit to about a 5-inch diameter. Let's see. 1, 2. We need to just pat it a little bit more. Just going to clean my hands off. And I love these plastic bench scrapers. They're great for scraping everything up. Okay. I have a baking pan lined with parchment. I'm going to put this right in the middle. And if you need to just reshape it, you can do that right now. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little granulated sugar and sprinkle top. Some people do an egg wash. I don't find the egg wash is necessary. It gets really nicely golden brown without the egg wash. The baking soda actually helps with browning. And then we're going to cut across in the top. And I'm going to dip my knife in some flour first. And we're just going to cut one way, about a 1/2 inch, not too far. This will help the bread to open up, and it will help it to cook faster and more evenly. Okay, there we go. This will go into a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. I take it out. I would recommend putting it on a cooling rack and letting it cool, because sometimes when it sits on the hot pan, the bottom will start to stay warm and kind of get soft, and a lot of condensation will form. Get it on the rack really quickly, and I'll show you what my loaf looks like that I baked earlier today, if everybody can see right here. Hi, Patrick. Friend of mine just got on. So this is what my loaf looks like. You see that beautiful cross in the middle, and you see all those little currants? So good. Like I said, when it comes out of the oven, take it off the pan and put it on a rack to really cool completely. I know the temptation is to have it warm, but don't cut it right out of the oven. If it's a tiny bit warm, it's okay. It's okay. So we've got our bread, and I've got this really nice, and I'm going to take my bread and put it on the board, and I'm going to cut up a few slices. Before we start slices, does anybody have any questions about the process so far? Is everybody pretty good with it? It was a simple recipe. Yes, I think we have a question on MARKET.live.
Oh, just Shopslaw says, "Oh, it looks so nice." Susie
Did we
says,
have a question?
"Delicious." Just saying, it looks delicious.
Oh, we have a couple. Wonderful. A couple of people are commenting how delicious it looks, and yes, it is delicious. So we're going to take a serrated knife. I find that's the best one to do with this. And we're going to start, you know what, I'm going to start slicing. There we go. I like to do them fairly thick, maybe a little over 1/4 of an inch. And there we go. And when you're finished eating on the day you've made it, make sure you wrap it really, really well, and it will help it to stop drying out. So this is what the inside of our bread looks like. Everyone wants to see. So good. So I have some butter here, and I'm actually going to put some butter on a piece right now.
That's what Susie just
right
said. I need
here.
some butter on that.
It needs some butter on that. It needs some really nice Irish butter, some Kerrygold on here, right? So here we go. I'm gonna give it just a little taste. Mmm. Mmm. It's so good. It's dense, but it's moist. That's the thing you want to be careful about. Do not over bake this. The visual cues are you want it to be kind of golden brown and you want the bottom to be nice and brown. But after about 30 minutes, I would start checking the bread, and you can use an instant read thermometer. Take it out of the oven. And if the bread has reached a temperature between 195 degrees and 200 degrees Fahrenheit, the interior temperature, then you know that you are good. And you don't want to bake it anymore because you don't want that bread to dry out. Right now, it's moist, it's dense, it's really good. It's that hint of sweetness. It's not too much sugar. And of course, the obligatory butter on here. So make some before St. Patrick's Day. It's that good. Don't wait till the 16th or 17th of March to make this. And I'm going to give you some hints about making my Italian-ish soda bread. So it's the same base recipe. It's out on my website. And instead of the currants, I like to add some toasted hazelnuts, some orange peel. If you don't have orange peel, you can add some. And if you're adding orange zest or any kind of citrus zest to this, make sure that you put it in with the sugar. You take the sugar and you massage that zest into the sugar. It'll bring out all the flavors of the zest, of the fruit zest, and then add it to your mixture. And some chopped chocolate. And what I like to do is to really take it over the top is toast it and then spread it with Nutella. So we have our traditional Irish soda bread, and then I just showed you my mix-ins for my Italian-ish soda bread. So I hope everybody really gets, inspired to make this. Like I said, don't wait 2.5 weeks to make it. Make it now and enjoy it. So I hope everybody had a great time today. I will see everybody next Monday. I haven't decided what I'm going to make. If you guys have any suggestions, hop on my Instagram. You can DM me with some suggestions on if there's something you want me to make. I would love to hear your suggestions. But I hope everybody has a great week. And goodbye to everybody on Market Live. And see everybody on Instagram a little bit later. Thank you so much for joining me.